So we are in the year 2020. It's January, really early. I remember this vision happening as early as 2016. I had a friend, and this friend told me about how he visualized his whole life or his whole future. And he used to do this while walking from home to school, school to home, and just think about like the sort of life he wants, the sort of career that he wants to excel in, and the fact that he's actually living that dream right now. And then I started to just use those type of techniques to visualize for myself, because in 2016 or end of 2015 I moved from Cape Town, my home, to Johannesburg, and straight into 2016 I had on and off jobs, but I was still really hustling, living with little to no money. All you have to hold on to is your dreams, is your visions. So I used to lay on the bed and just visualize myself driving in this particular car and driving to my place of work. Funny story, the place of work is where I'm currently working. The building that I used to visualize, they're no longer at that building. We're at a new building. But the point is, I work exactly where I visualized, not in what I wanted. I wanted to be in front of camera, but I'm doing my thing behind the scenes, and I'm working at the place I used to visualize, and I'm driving the car that I used to visualize. I just used to visualize and just hold on to this dream and this hope of a better future for myself, and living my dream. After a personal setback, I think this happened also in 2016, if not 2017. I was really upset. I had a fallout with friends, and I just felt like life was just so messy. I don't have any family in Johannesburg. At that time, I'm alone in Bramfontein. That's where I was living, and life just felt really messy. And then I woke up the next day. I tried to work out with this group close by, and when I got there, it was raining and it was cancelled. And I was just like, really? I really needed this. And I was so upset and I was so sad. I just jogged on my own. And then I came across a car dealership and I saw my dream car. And I went there. I thought to myself, let me sit in it and just recoup to where I want to go, because I've been sidetracked and distracted by so many things and I want to refocus. I sat in this car and I was just embracing the feeling, and through that I also met one of the car dealership guys who was just also taking me through the car. But funny enough, he whipped the Bible out of the boot of his car, and he was just speaking life over me, and it was just a very beautiful moment. I would say for me, in my story, it's also just that moment of sitting in the car and believing that one day I would be driving this type of car. Just, holding on to a dream bigger than what my current situation was. Then I would say about 2017, 2018 is when I created a vision board. And on my vision board was a whole lot of things, and amongst it was the car. So I made sure I researched, right? The color I want, the look I want, the bolt I want. So I do drive a Jeep, and you get Jeep Wranglers, you get Jeep Saharas, you get Jeep Rubicons. There's different sort of Jeeps. So I made sure that I know exactly what color, what bolt, what type, and I put this car on my vision board, and that is something that I saw on a daily basis. So basically on a daily, I was taking in the desire of this car on a daily, because I would see it and I would visualize it and all that type of things. Then I started to apply some practical steps by actually researching how much this car costs, because I wanted to see how far am I from attaining this goal. So I would research and I would look at different price options, and the lower price was just not the car I wanted, and then the higher price, it just felt like it was too much. And so I would literally look at this sort of information on a daily. You go to cars.coza and it gives you all this information. It tells you what your rough monthly estimate will be, and that's what I did. And then sometimes when I feel overwhelmed, I'll just put it down and then I move on with life and so on. So basically this was about 2018, end of 2017, 2018, when I started looking at prices. And I was really adamant about this car and just looking and feeding myself. During the year of 2018, I was 27 and I was turning 28 in August. And my goal was, I need to get this car. And by the time August came, I never had this car. I wasn't close to buying this. And it really did put such a, I wouldn't say a damper on my birthday, but just that period of my life, because I was like, you know how it is, you want to attain something at a certain age. I wanted to attain that particular thing at the time I turned 28. Anyway, so then as time went on, I continued researching, and then I came across the exact same car, like guys, to the T, the exact same car I had on my vision board. I then reached out to the dealer. I think at that point I was just like, never mind how much it is, never mind the money. If it's meant to be, it will be. Like, let me at least take the step by doing the research and asking the dealer what the situation is and taking it from there. So I reached out to the dealer and they asked me what car I currently own and what the settlement is on it and all that sort of information. So basically we went through that whole process just to see where we are at or where I'm at least for myself. I wanted to see where I'm at, you know, is this something I can do? And just the way everything unfolded, like I wasn't planning to do it then and there. Obviously this was a long-term plan, but the fact that it happened so quickly, like I found the car, reached out to the dealer, did all this information, and before you know it, I was trading in my then vehicle for this particular vehicle. And the funny thing is that I had a bit of savings for the car, as in put a deposit onto the car, and it wasn't the amount I wanted to put on the car. I wanted to put on a bit more, but that is what I had. And then when I got my settle amount for my then car, and it was in the process of me trading my then car in for the dream car, I even had extra bit of money that the dealership had to give me, and that money could be transferred onto my dream car as a deposit. So it just all worked out like perfectly. So yeah, and then there I had my car, or months after, and just in terms of the process, like the dealership came all the way from Pretoria to me, came to view my car, they went back. When I got the car, they came back to me. So, you know, it was a very accommodating situation. It didn't feel like I was stretching myself, didn't feel like a lot of effort was being put into it. It just happened so organically. So basically by November 2018, I had my dream car, and it was just the most amazing feeling. And basically that is my story as to how I manifested my car. Manifestation to me, it's very much about believing, having faith that what it is that you are setting forth will come to pass. Just constantly working in the vibration that this will happen for me. I will say though, when you manifest things and when you have faith and believe for things, be prepared for what you ask for. Be prepared mentally for what you ask for. Of course, if it's something like a car, whatever, financially one needs to be, you need to be okay as well. But I mean, I trusted God so wholeheartedly because it worked out so beautifully. So yeah, that wasn't even an issue, but just mentally, because then when I got it, I was like, wow, is this really happening? Okay, so this is me now, this is mine. And I found that the year 2019, I kind of felt very, I wouldn't say insecure, but just overwhelmed by my own thoughts and feelings. What are people gonna think? I parked so far from the office, like front door or gate, so that people wouldn't really see. I would overthink, you know, when someone sees this little petite person hopping out of my car, because they're like, oh, it's such a big car for a girl, or whatever the case might be. And when my boyfriend's driving it, it's a matter of, yeah, but people must know it's my car, you know, because you want to make sure that people know that you paid for it, you attained it, you worked towards it. There's no mom or dad or blesser or whatever the case might be, you know, made this possible for you. But then I just got to a point where I'm like, no, I'm filling my mind with so much insecurity and toxicity and overthinking, and to a point where I'm not enjoying this gift, enjoying this blessing, you know. And it started on such a great route of manifesting and putting positive vibrations out there. But now that you have it, you like acting like it's not yours, acting like you're not worthy, or acting like people's thoughts and feelings even matter, if they even have any, because sometimes you also just think preconceived ideas. So I would say whatever you manifest, be ready, and don't stop trusting and believing that what you are asking for and what you're manifesting is meant for you during the process of manifestation and even after. I would say that was just a major eye-opener, me learning about myself, me learning about just the phase I was in. But I would say it was so, like, I was probably meant to go through it so that I could understand just where my mind was at and where I was lacking, if I could say. But then it got to a point where I was just like, you know what, I'm not living for other people. I am doing what's best for me, and I'm not going to make up what I think people are thinking. Oh, but there were times where I could overhear people talking and all that type of things. But it's not my problem, and it's not your problem. We're all out here to live our best, and do believe that the more we believe, the more we are able to access the unknown, the more we are able to access gifts that are out there for us. Anything is possible. So that is my story, and I do hope that there is something that you took away from the story, and basically it's just me speaking about how I spoke that particular thing into existence. And there's times where I'm just like, wow, did that actually happen? Like, wow. And it also encourages me to continue manifesting towards other things. I do hope that you like the story. I do hope that something in there for you. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Peace, love, hope, and more blessings.